Well, yeah, I'm recording what you said. I'm so happy that the crowd was there. I think that it influenced the atmosphere a lot, and I think
Liar. The Mirra Andreeva attack that backfired. How Eala's 12-word response silenced the tennis world. What happens when a rising superstar gets called a liar by her biggest rival? What happens when the pride of Southeast Asia is told she's nothing more than a fraud? Welcome back to Chatterbox, your home for the hottest tennis tea, the wildest rumors, and the stories they don't want you to hear. Today, we are diving headfirst into a controversy that has the tennis world absolutely shook. That girl is the pride of Southeast Asia? That's ridiculous. Those are the alleged words of Russian prodigy Mirra Andreeva, dropped like a bomb after her recent match against our very own Filipina sensation, Eala, at the Macau Open. But she didn't stop there. Oh no, it got personal. Reports are swirling that Andreeva accused Eala of being a liar who only plays by believing in lies. She went even further, claiming that every single one of Eala's victories, her Grand Slam junior titles, her pro circuit wins, were all due to pure luck and, get this, umpire bias. Can you believe the audacity? Andreeva essentially looked at the little angel of Southeast Asia and spat on her achievements. Naturally, the internet exploded. A wave of fierce backlash erupted from Southeast Asian tennis fans. They swarmed social media, rallying to defend their queen, demanding an apology. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Everyone was waiting. Would Alex clap back? Would she post a nasty story on Instagram? Would she start a war? No. Eala did something much, much worse for her critics. She waited. She packed her bags for New Zealand. And then, she responded, not with a rant, but with just 12 words that left Andreeva speechless and humiliated. And then, she let her racket do the rest of the talking in a way that has the entire WTA tour terrified. Stay tuned, because the revenge tour has officially begun. Let's rewind for a second. The Macau Open was supposed to be a friendly exhibition, a showcase of the next-gen talent. But if these rumors are true, the locker room was anything but friendly. To call Eala a liar who relies on lies is a bizarre and deeply personal attack. It suggests a psychological warfare tactic that we rarely see in players this young. The Chatterbox community knows that Eala isn't just a player. She's a symbol. When you attack her, you aren't just attacking a 20-year-old girl. You are attacking the pride of the Philippines and the hope of Southeast Asian tennis. The comment sections were on fire. Fans were pointing out Eala's incredible work ethic, the hours she spends at the Rafa Nadal Academy, the injuries she's fought through, the grueling travel schedule. Luck doesn't get you a U.S. Open Juniors title. Umpire bias doesn't get you professional titles on the ITF circuit. But here's where the story gets juicy. While the fans were screaming, Eala was silent. Radio silent. You know that quote, "Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise." That was the vibe. While the rumors of Andreeva's insults were circulating, Eala was already in Auckland, New Zealand, prepping for the ASB Classic. This wasn't just another tournament. This was the first WTA event of 2026. This was the stage where she needed to prove that she belongs with the big dogs. And honestly, the silence was making the critics nervous. When someone talks trash about you and you say nothing, it's scary. It means you're plotting. It means you're focused. And boy, was she focused. The tennis world was watching, waiting to see if the pressure would crack her or if she would rise above it. Social media was a battlefield. Filipinos and Southeast Asian fans created hashtags in support of their champion. Meanwhile, skeptics were ready with their keyboards, prepared to pounce at the first sign of weakness. What made the situation even more intense was the timing. This wasn't happening during a random tournament in the middle of the season. This was happening at the start of 2026, a year that many experts predicted could be Eala's breakthrough moment. She had spent the off-season training harder than ever, recovering from injuries and fine-tuning her game. The last thing she needed was a psychological war with another rising star. But perhaps, in hindsight, that's exactly what she needed. Sometimes the greatest champions are forged in the fires of controversy. Fast forward to the opening round of the ASB Classic. The narrative had shifted from the drama in Macau to the hardcore. Donna Vekic is Croatian royalty in the tennis world. She's currently ranked world number 69, a former top 20 player, and oh yeah, the silver medalist at the 2024 Paris Olympics. This is a woman who has beaten the best of the best. She hits the ball hard, she serves big, and she's a veteran who knows how to bully younger players off the court. If Andreeva's comments about luck were true, Eala should have been crushed here. Vekic is not someone you beat by luck. The match started, and it looked like the haters might be right. Eala was struggling. The preseason rust was showing. Vekic, who is 29 and experienced, rallied from a 0-3 deficit in the opening set to stun Eala, taking the first set 6-4. The trolls were ready. You could almost hear them typing. See, she can't hang with the pros. Andreeva was right. But this is why we love Alex. In the second set, she flipped the switch. She broke early, surging ahead 2-0. But Vekic didn't go away. She clawed back, closing the gap to 5-4. The pressure was immense. One slip up, one loose error, and Eala is packing her bags. But instead of crumbling, Eala held firm. She engaged in long, grueling rallies, refusing to miss, refusing to give Vekic an inch. She took the second set 6-4. Now we're in a decider. Third set. Winner takes all. At 3-all in the final set, it was deadlocked. This is the moment where luck dies and grit lives. Both players were trading blows, gasping for air. The Auckland crowd was electric, sensing they were witnessing something special. Every point felt like a mini-final. Every game was a battle of wills. Vekic had the experience and the pedigree. Eala had the hunger and the point to prove. But Eala found another gear, a gear that liars don't have. She broke Vekic. She held her nerve. And finally, after a grueling battle that lasted over 2.5 hours, she closed it out. Final score, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4. She didn't just win. She outlasted an Olympic silver medalist. She took the physical punishment and dished it back out. The significance of this victory cannot be overstated. This wasn't a match against a qualifier or a lucky loser. This was a statement win against a player who had stood on the podium at the Olympics just months earlier. In her on-court interview, breathless and sweating, Eala dropped the truth bomb about her mindset. I really had a tough time today, but I'm most happy about being able to compete and show up at the level like this, especially after such a tough preseason. So many things happened the past months, so I'm proud about that. So many things happened the past months. Is that a subtle nod to the drama? Maybe. But she wasn't done yet. The way she delivered those words, with a mix of exhaustion and pride, told a story that went beyond the scoreline. This was someone who had been tested, not just on the court, but off it as well. If beating Vekic was the jab, what happened next was the knockout punch. Eala teamed up with American teenager Iva Jovic for the doubles tournament. Now, usually, doubles is the fun event. It's low stakes, right? Wrong. Look at who they had to play in the first round. Venus Williams and Elina Svitolina. Let that sink in. Venus Williams, a 7-time Grand Slam champion, a living legend, a woman who changed the sport forever. And Elina Svitolina, a former world number 3, a warrior for Ukraine, and one of the most consistent ball strikers of the last decade. You have Eala and Jovic, 2 kids, basically staring down 2 of the biggest icons in history. The luck narrative? It was about to get destroyed again. When the draw was announced, most people assumed this would be a quick learning experience for the young duo. After all, Venus Williams has won 14 Grand Slam titles across singles and doubles. She's been playing professional tennis since before Eala was born. Svitolina has been a top 10 mainstay for years and reached the semifinals of Wimbledon and the US Open. On paper, this was a mismatch. The first set was a war. It went to a tiebreak. Eala and Jovic were fearless. They weren't intimidated by Venus's aura or Svitolina's consistency. They took the tiebreak 7-6. And then, in the second set, they smelled blood. They ran the legends off the court. They dominated. Final score, 7-6, 6-1. They didn't just beat them. They breadsticked them in the second set. Eala's net play was crisp, her returns were aggressive, and her chemistry with Jovic was electric. Beating Venus Williams is a career highlight for anyone. Doing it right after silencing critics about your ability? That's legendary behavior. This one sent a shockwave through the tournament. It proved that Eala isn't just a grinder. She's a versatile, all-court. Where's the luck, Mirra? Where's the umpire bias? Because all we see is pure talent. The tennis community on social media went into meltdown mode. Highlight reels of Eala's best shots circulated endlessly. Tennis analysts who had been skeptical suddenly started calling her a dark horse for bigger tournaments. Now, we come to the moment everyone has been talking about. The response. After these massive wins, after proving herself on the court, Eala finally addressed the crowd. The fans in Auckland were going wild, many of them Filipinos who had traveled to see her. They were chanting her name, waving flags, giving her that home court energy even though they were thousands of miles from Manila. The atmosphere was something special. You could feel the love, the pride, the sheer joy of seeing one of their own succeed on the international stage. Standing there, basking in the love, contradicting every hateful thing Andreeva allegedly said, Eala took the microphone. She didn't mention Mirra's name. She didn't talk about the insults. She didn't lower herself to the tabloid mud. Instead, she looked at the crowd, smiled, and delivered the sentence that has gone viral. The 12 words that redefined classy. Home is the people and not the place, so thank you everyone. Let's break that down. Home is the people and not the place. With that simple sentence, she did two things. First, she claimed her power. She told the world that she doesn't need to be in the Philippines to feel the love. Her luck isn't luck. It's the support of a nation that follows her everywhere. Second, she humiliated the haters. Andreeva allegedly called her a liar and ridiculous. Eala responded with gratitude, wisdom, and maturity way beyond her 20 years. It made the petty insults look, well, petty. It was the ultimate mic drop. While others are busy throwing shade in press conferences, Eala is busy winning matches and quoting poetry. It left the critics speechless because how do you attack someone who is so genuinely grateful and humble? You can't. You just look like a villain. The quote instantly became a rallying cry. Filipino fans started printing it on T-shirts. It appeared in Instagram bios. It became a mantra not just for tennis fans, but for anyone who understood what it meant to carry the hopes of a community on your shoulders. What made the response even more powerful was the context. In professional sports, especially in individual sports like tennis, athletes often feel isolated. They travel alone, train alone, compete alone. The pressure can be suffocating. But Eala was reminding everyone, including herself, that she's never really alone.
You learn
Everywhere
to
she
fail a
goes,
lot.
she carries the spirit
Because,
of
for
millions
example,
with her.
I compete
That's not luck.
30 plus
That's
weeks
love.
a year.
That's legacy. So,
And
where do we go from here? The Chatterbox prediction is that this is just the beginning of a monster season for Eala. She has successfully moved to the next round of the ASB Classic. But the road doesn't get easier. Up next, she faces another Croatian threat, Petra Marcinko. Marcinko is ranked number 82 in the world, a dangerous floater. But here's the kicker. This is their first meeting on the WTA Tour. It's a fresh matchup. Marcinko is talented, but does she have the momentum that Eala has right now? Eala is coming off a win against an Olympic silver medalist and a win against Venus Williams. Her confidence is sky high. And don't forget the doubles. Eala and Jovic are still alive in the draw. After taking down Venus and Svitolina, they are set to face Jessica Malikova from Czechia, ranked number 72 in doubles, and Renata Zarazua from Mexico, ranked number 84. Zarazua is a grinder, similar to Eala, but Malikova is a doubles specialist. This is going to be a tactical battle. But if Eala and Jovic can take down Venus Williams, they can take down anyone. The ASB Classic is turning into the Eala show, and we are living for it. Every win is another slap in the face to the rumors. Every ace is a receipt for the disrespect. The tournament organizers are certainly not complaining. Ticket sales have spiked. Television viewership is up. Everyone wants to see what the Filipina sensation will do next. Even casual tennis fans who might not know the difference between a tiebreak and a letter tuning in because the story is just that compelling. And as for Mirra Andreeva, silence. Since Eala's wins started piling up, we haven't heard much from the Russian camp. Maybe they realized that waking up the little angel was a big mistake. Maybe they realized that you don't mess with the pride of Southeast Asia unless you're ready to get burned. It's worth noting that Andreeva is an incredibly talented player in her own right. At just 17 years old, she's already cracked the top 50 and has wins over top 10 players. But if the reports of her comments are true, this incident might serve as a learning experience about the power of words and the danger of underestimating opponents. Looking at the bigger picture, this situation highlights something fascinating about the current generation of tennis players. The next gen, as they're called, are not just competing with their rackets. They're competing in the court of public opinion, on social media, in the narratives that fans and media create. One comment, one post, one interview can change the trajectory of how a player is perceived. Andreeva, whether she intended to or not, may have just created her own villain arc in the eyes of millions of fans. Meanwhile, Eala has solidified her position as the underdog hero. What's particularly interesting is how different tennis federations and academies are responding to this. The Philippines Tennis Association has rallied behind Eala harder than ever, with officials making public statements of support. The Rafa Nadal Academy, where Eala trains, has also highlighted her mental strength and dedication. In contrast, there's been notable silence from those associated with Andreeva, suggesting that perhaps there's some damage control happening behind the scenes. From a pure tennis perspective, Eala's performance in Auckland has answered some crucial questions about her game. Can she handle pressure? Yes. Can she beat higher-ranked opponents? Yes. Can she perform in both singles and doubles at a high level simultaneously? Absolutely. Can she maintain her composure when the tennis world is watching her every move? Without a doubt. These are the qualities that separate good players from great ones and contenders from champions. The mental aspect of tennis cannot be overstated. The sport is often described as a mental chess match played at physical speed. Players need to manage their emotions, adapt their tactics on the fly, handle hostile crowds, deal with bad line calls, and push through physical exhaustion. Now add to that the weight of representing an entire nation and the sting of public insults from a rival. Most players would crumble. Eala thrived. That's championship mentality. Tennis historians and analysts are already drawing comparisons to other great revenge performances in the sport. They're talking about Monica Seles coming back after being stabbed. They're mentioning Jennifer Capriati's comeback from personal struggles. They're recalling how Serena Williams responded to doubters throughout her career. Now, they're adding Alex Eala's Auckland performance to that list of moments when a player channeled adversity into excellence. This storyline is far from over. We have a feeling 2026 is going to be the year Alex Eala breaks into the top 50, maybe even the top 20. She has the game, she has the mentality, and clearly, she has the clutch gene to handle the drama. But beyond the rankings and the titles, what's emerging is something even more valuable. A narrative, a story that transcends tennis. This is a story about dignity in the face of insults, about letting your work speak louder than your words, about carrying the hopes of millions with grace and humility. The Philippines has a rich history of producing world-class athletes who've put the nation on the global stage. From boxing legend Manny Pacquiao to various Olympic medalists, Filipinos have proven time and again that heart, determination, and skill know no boundaries. Alex Eala is carrying that torch into tennis, a sport that has historically been dominated by players from wealthier nations with more established tennis infrastructure. Every time she steps on court, she's not just playing for herself. She's playing for every young Filipino kid who dreams of making it big in sports. What's also worth noting is the role of social media in amplifying this story. 20 years ago, a comment made in a locker room might have stayed there, known only to those present. Today, everything is documented, shared, analyzed, and debated by millions. This has both positive and negative implications. On one hand, it can unfairly magnify small incidents. On the other hand, it allows fans to rally behind their heroes and hold people accountable for their words. In this case, it gave Eala's fans the platform to defend her and ultimately witness her vindication in real time. The Andreeva situation, if the reports are accurate, also raises questions about sportsmanship in modern tennis. The sport has always prided itself on being a gentleman's or gentlewoman's game, with traditions of respect and decorum. But as the stakes get higher, as prize money increases, and as younger players enter the tour with less traditional training, are we seeing a shift in culture? Are personal attacks becoming more common? And if so, how should the tennis community respond? For Eala, the answer seems clear. Respond with excellence. Respond with class. Respond by being so undeniably good that the critics have no choice but to respect you. It's a strategy that has worked for countless athletes before her, and it's working again now. There's a reason why phrases like "let your success make the noise" and "the best revenge is massive success" have become cliches. It's because they're true. As the ASB Classic continues, all eyes will be on Eala's next matches. Can she maintain this level of play? Can she handle the pressure of being the story everyone is following? Can she convert this momentum into a deep run in the tournament, maybe even a title? These are questions only time will answer. But one thing is certain. Win or lose in her next match, Eala has already won something more valuable. She's won the respect of the tennis world and the undying support of fans across Southeast Asia and beyond. The journey ahead is long. The WTA Tour is brutal and unforgiving. There will be losses, injuries, disappointments, and setbacks. That's the nature of professional sports. But what this week in Auckland has proven is that Eala has the tools, both physical and mental, to handle whatever comes her way. She's shown that she can win the big matches. From Thailand, from all across Southeast Asia, Eala is proving that they too can dream big. They too can compete with the best. They too can stand on the biggest stages and not just participate, but win. That's the real legacy being built here. It's not just about one player's ranking or titles. It's about opening doors and changing perceptions about what's possible. So what do you think? Was Mirra Andreeva's alleged comment about Eala being a liar just heat of the moment trash talk? Or does it reveal a deeper jealousy? And what about Alex's response? Do you think home is the people and not the place was the perfect classy clapback? Or did you want to see her get a little more spicy? We want to hear from the Chatterbox fam. Drop a comment below with your messages of support for Alex. Let's drown out the hate with love. Hit that like button if you think Eala is going to win a title this year. And most importantly, subscribe and ring that notification bell. We are tracking this story 24/7. If Mirra responds, if Alex wins again, or if Venus Williams has something to say, you will be the first to know right here on Chatterbox. Don't just watch the news. Be part of the conversation. See you in the next video.